Hi, I'm Josanne Wright Callender, the author of the Happy Little Garbage Truck picture book and educational program. The book is found, you can find the book on Amazon, but you can contact me regarding the educational program, and I'll include my email in the description box. My website's undergoing some construction right now, doing a little upgrade. But yesterday we talked about some of the strategies that we can use to help us weather the storms of our stressors and manage our thoughts. And most of the information that I'm presenting in this week's talks is from using Travis Bradberry's article, How Successful People Stay Calm, article that he had in Forbes magazine, which I thought was just phenomenal because it dovetailed into some of the things that we've been talking about regarding how to use our positive mindset and self talk with using our affirmations as well to help us keep an even kill and also inspire our children, because that's why I decided to do some of these YouTube talks is to encourage parents to work with their children in an optimal level during this COVID crisis and pandemic, rather. So, there are things that we can do even outside of a quarantine period that really will help benefit our children in a way that when they go back to school or are involved in social activities, they're really operating at a better level because they have self esteem, which is feeling good about oneself. And as I said, stressors can really derail us, and it happens to all of us, and it's part of life. But in Travis's article, he showed that stress was important because it helps increase our brain cells in a lot of wonderful ways. But we have to manage it. It has to be intermittent stressors. It can't be so many stressors that we go into meltdown or not enough of a stimulation in our life that we're in a state of depression or boredom. So the thing that can still our peace is stress, but strategies that can actually help us manage stress are what I thought we'd talk about too today. Sometimes when I'm falling asleep, I cannot get the nagging thoughts out of my mind, the what ifs. And he mentions this that sometimes the what ifs are things that just we don't have an answer for. I found a really good tip as I was researching how to handle some of the things that might keep us from getting a good night's sleep, which is my next point, is the what ifs can be handled if we take a notebook and write down these thoughts that are keeping us awake and sort of like tabling them until we have more wakefulness and we can actually think about it. But, we've written it down. So in our mind, it's sort of taken care of. And I found that to be a really good strategy. Personally, I love to pray about things that I'm just unable to cope with or sort out because I believe that, God will help me. And but writing it down is a good strategy because it kind of quantifies what you're working on. And then in the morning, you can take another look at it and possibly have a better idea as to how to approach them. One thing I found out that if you're looking at things or trying to make any kind of decision while sleepy, it just doesn't work. Sleepy, hungry, or something. I think there's like three strategies that you just don't make a decision in those states of mind. Now, as far as getting a good night's sleep, this has been sort of like a quest for me of late because it seems like there's so many things going on that my mind is just like going from one thing to another. And so I found some articles that I'll include in the description box of why sleep is so important, and then a couple of excuse me, those articles talk about how to get a good night's sleep. The one strategy that Travis mentions in his article that I think is overlooked is turning off the electronics before you, like an hour or two before you go to bed, because there's been some studies done. I'll do a little bit more research on that to get an article on maybe the next talk. That when you're looking at electronics, it has something to do with the light emitted from the electronic stimulates the brain. But what I try to do is get in bed like an hour or an hour and a half before I planning to go to sleep, and I read a book or I do my journaling. I put the what ifs in my journal, and it allows my mind to relax. I do some deep breathing, meditation. I found some essential oils, and like a little commercial for doTERRA. They have this wonderful one called Serenity that I found works really well for me. My sister-in-law introduced me to that. And there's some natural sleep aids out there, which I'm not a doctor. You can research those yourself, but I think anything that's more natural that can help us fall into a regular pattern of sleep. And what I try not to do is to rely on things like that consistently, because I want my body to find the right sleep pattern for me. So that's why I said, I'm trying not to give you any um, ideas for additives, things to add to your life, things to take. But when you research these and try different mixtures and ideas of from on the internet, you can actually come up with something that works for you better than anything that I could recommend. But it's very important to get the sleep that you need, and your body needs it every night. I've got an entertaining article from Ariana Huffington, one about another article about why it's important to get the good night's sleep. And then I have a list of things to do to help one get into a good night's sleep from the University of, I think, Northern Carolina. But anyhow, check these out. And I hope by tomorrow you've had a good night's sleep under your belt, and it will just benefit you and your children so very much. Until tomorrow, we'll see you then. Okay, bye bye.